You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it.
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, how the heck are you? Folks, welcome back to the Charger Chat Victory Monday. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
I'm feeling fine.
Let's not forget Kyle the Coach Duggan.
Feeling fine, too.
I, too, am feeling fine. Oh, folks, it's always good to do one of these after a win, right? It just feels better.
So much
We record
better.
these late on Monday nights, and it's hard on a loss to get the energy up to come and talk to you two buffoons.
Yeah.
But on a win, it's real
How
easy.
dare you? Oh, yeah,
Get my
really
butt
easy.
up and get
I
on
don't
here
mind your
real quick.
faces at all after a win.
Yeah.
It's
Not
easy.
at all. Obviously, folks, lots to talk about after a victory. All a bunch of stuff going on around Twitter. We've got an awesome fan focus lined up, an Ask Boltfam, and a brand new segment, Brisket A'broads, joining us for the first time, their own segment on the Charger Chat podcast. Can't wait. Haven't seen it yet. I'm excited. You better be too. Let's start it off here, folks, at the top, talking about this freaking game. Kyle, did you get a chance to sit down and watch the game?
I did. I went back. Yeah, I went back
Good.
and watched the whole thing today.
Good.
It was a weird football game.
Yeah.
It was very
It was
strange.
Roller
so
coaster.
up and down. I feel like you put the Falcons and the Chargers on the same field. That's kind of what you expect, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that kind of blew my mind. They threw the stat up there mid-game about how Chargers had the second most one-score games and Falcons had the third. And I was like, oh my God, there's somebody more than us that has these close of games. And the Vikings. I couldn't believe that. That would not have been my guess. But
And how crazy it's all over social media that game is identical almost to 2 years ago.
right.
Did you see that video? That was crazy. Whoever found that.
Identical.
Insane.
Yeah.
Exact same
Even the
route.
Justin Herbert throw to set up the game-winning field goal, it all looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
very eerie to see. But yeah, man,
That's
what a wild
Deja
game.
vu.
Yes. Yeah, a game that everybody was very concerned about, us included. We were concerned. Obviously, we knew that it was going to be a close game when we're going into this with our backups, with our, our number one wide receivers, Josh Palmer.
Yeah.
Tell that to us at the beginning of the season, and we would have been like, well, it's over then, right? There's no way.
So we're screwed. Have we won a game yet? Or?
Yeah. Are you saying we're
We're
5-6?
5-3. We're 5-3.
Yeah.
Just Justin looked different, man. An extra week off. He just looked
He's
different.
back.
And coach, in his press conference, he was talking the interview he did on Monday, basically all but said we kind of took the reins off of him.
Yeah.
We were worried about him. He couldn't get, do some of these things. We didn't want him to, aggravate anything. And they kind of let him just start do stuff this week. And you saw it. You saw what that did.
It was
He let
streaky,
plays
but
develop. Yeah, but he let plays develop more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, obviously anybody watching the game could see the comfort level of Justin. I still think that first quarter was a little bit of not quite finding the footing. I don't know.
I think there was some bye week rust too.
Could be. Yeah.
They only had
just
6 plays that quarter too. They just
That's
didn't have
true,
enough time to
yeah.
get going. They were just 3 and out.
Right. That's true. So, yeah, but by the second quarter, which again is also just so strange. Again, the stats that they were throwing up during the game that the Chargers had a 28-point differential for the first quarter, and yet
We only had one
second,
touchdown in the first quarter this whole year.
Yeah, and then in the second quarter, we're second in the NFL as far as the points that we will score. So we are known to rebound. We are known to respond in the second
Did
quarter.
you guys even bat an eye when we were down 10?
No.
I didn't even phase me.
I was just glad it wasn't 14. I was just like, okay, cool. It's not 14.
Easy. Yeah.
10. We can do this
All
right?
day.
In my sleep.
It's cake.
Yeah. So what a crazy game. Obviously, again, getting a chance to see Justin Herbert go against former Oregon quarterback Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It was pretty cool to see, and scary. And again, seeing Cordell Patterson, man, just coming out like that was all the hype from everybody that was talking about like who's going to be the winner of this game. Is it the Falcons or the Chargers? And like, well, Cordell Patterson's coming back, so obviously it's going to be the Falcons, right? And he certainly had
a better game,
right?
Yep.
Obviously, he certainly made his presence known out there. He got 2 touchdowns as well, but
he ran the ball well.
He ran the ball well, but hey, dub's a dub, my friend. We walked away with the dub. We hoisted our kicker.
And Justin Herbert had not one game-winning drive, but he had 2 in that final drive.
Yeah, he did it twice.
That's true.
He did.
Right.
He really did. He got us into field goal range 2 different times on the same drive because of that
funny
fumble
to
return.
think about. Right.
So I mean, yeah, that was clutch Justin Herbert there at the end with some of those throws that he had.
Right.
And yeah, you could see it. The comfortability's coming back. I think we're in for a big second half for Justin.
I'm looking forward to it. Looking over at Twitter, some accolades to hand out. PFF LA Chargers tweeted out the highest graded Chargers in week 9 against the Falcons. Number 1, the man who said, "This is my football, not yours," Khalil Mack.
I've watched that like 20 times today.
90.7. Yeah.
That
boy.
poor little guy just had no chance. It's just like it's like me playing with my kids. If I decide, I'm just going to take the ball from you.
And
right.
it took 5 wide receivers to take him down too.
It's like a
hilarious
test to see how they're going to respond. Sometimes I'll throw the ball to the boys and then I'll go and just take it from them just to see how they'll respond. Like if they'll cry and I feel like that's what Khalil Mack was doing to that
Sounds
poor
like a
little
science
wide receiver.
experiment.
It's sociology. He's just seeing what's going to happen on the field.
Interesting. And you're writing down your findings. 1 tier this time. Yeah. It's funny watching that, first of all, he made it look so easy.
Yeah.
There's so many times you see players go up and try to rip balls out and they just cannot do it. Like the guys, obviously some of these guys are just the strongest people in the world and they hold on to the ball so well. He ripped it out with such ease that he was like, oh, okay, well now I have it. It's not like I'm going to rip it out and fall down. I'm going to rip it out. I'm going to run it another 40 yards back.
50
it's
yards,
not like I'm going to rip it and it's going to fly in the air because I have no control. It's just like he went, it's my ball. And then he ran.
It's like, oh, okay. Well,
and it
we're
made
doing
that sound
this.
too. Yeah.
It's happening. Khalil Mack, top rated Charger. Justin Herbert, 80.6. Josh Palmer, 76.4. Asante Samuel Jr., 76.3. And Derwin James, 74.7.
Asante didn't even seem like he was really even targeted much in that game.
What the defense was so stressed me out because once they figured out how to stop them, it was kind of load up the box, take away the run, and make Mariota try and throw it down the field, and he just doesn't have the accuracy to do that. And that was like, why didn't we try this earlier? You know what I mean? Like let them drive the ball on us so hard in that first quarter. Going back and watching it, it's like that's how you solve that. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that he had a good game and they were basically able to shut them down. They could not get much going with that passing attack at all.
I just think that at the end of the day, you look at the points on the board.
Yeah.
Right. They scored 17 points in an NFL football game. You're going to win. I would say 90% of the games you can hold them to the other team to 17 points. And so it's like, yeah, they did move the ball quite a bit and the scoreboard skewed because of that Khalil Mack just take the ball away.
Right. Inside
because that was
the
down.
5
They were
too.
they were down there ready to score.
Yeah.
So that definitely skewed the points a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that may have been the game plan. It's like, okay, they are going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, but then they're going to get impatient and then Mariota is going to try to throw the ball. We trust our defense enough to force them to put together 12, 15 play drives. Sooner or later, we're going to get a turnover or they're going to have a penalty. Like that may have been the strategy. And if that was, it worked. You only gave up 17 points.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Obviously, great point. Yeah, just seeing the teams finally click on both sides of the ball. Offense struggled obviously in that first quarter. You had 2 3-and-outs in the first quarter. I mean, basically Atlanta had the entire quarter, like Kevin pointed out when I was watching it with him. But defense came and stepped up obviously and made some big impact plays as well. But the man, Austin Eckler, again, 2 touchdowns this game, 1 receiving, 1 rushing.
And then one called back that he did a flip over the guy.
I know. God, that was
That was
so
insane.
freaking close.
Yeah.
If you just didn't look at that other camera angle,
Yeah.
it was perfect. It couldn't have been any better. But PFF tweeted out Austin Eckler in his last 5 games, 347 rushing yards, 233 receiving yards, 10 total touchdowns in 5 games.
That's
so
insane.
he has 580 all-purpose yards and 10 touchdowns in the last 5 games.
It's insane.
That is
Crazy.
what's even wilder is NFL and CBS tweeted out Austin Eckler is the first player since at least 1950 with a rush touchdown and receiving touchdown 4 times in a 5-game span. Hasn't happened since the 50s, folks.
It's crazy.
Almost a century ago.
And they had him. There were a couple plays where they had him lining up in the slot. Spiller was out there, or Sony Michel, which I think I've had enough of Sony Michel now. Let's go full Spiller after that.
I think
drop.
that's the consensus of the whole anyone that's watched a Charger game is that
Spiller.
Isaiah Spiller is the 2.
He's good now. But they had him lining up in the slot, and he's a wide receiver too.
Yeah,
we got to keep that in mind. We're able to utilize him, have him and a running back on the field at the same
That's
time.
why we only had what 4? No, we had 5 active wide receivers. Because you have Austin Eckler.
Yeah, he's
worst case scenario. Toss him out there. He'll go run every route that a receiver can run.
He is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. He can do absolutely everything, and it is so exciting to see him when he catches a ball and has some. He always gets extra yards. He just always does it. It's incredible.
Yeah, his runs, his rushes, man. He made some really good moves in this game. Like he was making some good cuts. He was finding holes, getting just some extra chunks, and it was really quite impressive. And I'm so thankful that we have him right now.
Amen.
NFL 345 tweeted out, this marks Austin Eckler's 3rd season with over 10 touchdowns. He becomes the 4th undrafted player in the common draft era to have over 10 touchdowns in 3 or more different seasons, joining Arian Foster, Antonio Gates.
He played basketball, right?
He played basketball.
Yeah.
And Priest Holmes. So 2 out of those 4 guys were Chargers.
That's crazy.
Let's hear it for our undrafted freaking all-stars, baby. Yes. Round up a freaking applause. Joe Reedy tweeted out, Chargers are the 5th team to win 3 games when trailing by double digits at the end of first quarter. Others are the 2020 Cowboys, the 2009 Saints, and the 97 Seahawks and 88 Eagles.
I told you I wasn't worried.
I wonder what will happen when we stop spotting teams like 10, 14 points every single game.
It'll be easier games to win for sure.
Yeah.
It won't come down to the wire and give everyone a heart attack. Somebody sent us a video. It might be in the Ask Boltfam, but somebody sent us a video of the play intercut with like the fumble and like Kevin McAllister like screaming. Like there's some people are really funny out there, but it was a roller coaster. Like
yes.
Sitting next to, I am a very emotional Charger fan.
No, I know.
And there was times where I'm very emotional. And so much so I like had to tell Adam, I'm like, I'm sorry. I won't be like this all the time. I just got to get like used to this. I'm really sorry to f up the vibe in here right now. But oh wow, that was just a roller
gotta
coaster.
keep the faith, man. Just
gotta have it.
Gotta have the faith. That was I think it's Friar Bolt is the one who put that video together. So if you haven't seen it, go find Friar Bolt and check out his video because it really was quite
I'll retweet
funny.
it. I'll retweet it later today.
Okay, well there you go. We'll make it that much easier. All right, looking at the injury side, we saw a couple guys go down this week. One of those was Austin Johnson. Daniel Popper tweeted out Austin Johnson has an MCL injury and fractured knee. Per Brandon Staley, he is out for the season.
What the this is crazy.
It
just
continues to happen.
I don't expect to be out, like have a game finish and us not lose a guy for the season at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Somebody's got to at least
like I almost didn't bat an eye. I was like, oh, okay, only one? All right. Okay, we just lost one guy for the year.
It's crazy. When you texted us, it is Fehoko time. I don't know who else would step in. And he's ready to go. So, we still want that sack dance he promised us last time we talked to him. So
right. Yeah, I think we saw Tito Abonia come in a couple plays.
He was in there
to try
in
to
the nose guard for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But Fehoko has to be activated.
Exactly. That's the thing. Fehoko wasn't activated. And so with Austin Johnson going down, it just makes sense to activate Fehoko and get him in there to fill in for the time being. And then Popper also tweeted out about Trey Pipkins. We saw him go down for a second, and I think Kevin just about blew a gasket when he saw Storm Norton take the field.
On the final drive, I was like,
On the final drive, yeah, the
no.
one that mattered most. But Trey Pipkins aggravated his sprained MCL in his day-to-day, per Brandon Staley. So I don't know what the situation will be going into next week. Day-to-day makes it sound like there's a possibility for him to come back.
There's a chance. I saw, somewhere in the interview, he said there's a chance that he plays Sunday, but I think that's a very
I think we've
small
heard that
chance.
too many times this season of like, oh yeah, there's a chance, and it just doesn't pan out. So I think it's best to prepare for the worst and hope for the best in this situation. And
Does that mean Storm Norton? Is that the?
I don't know who else you could put in there. Like,
you already tossed a guard at a right tackle, so I don't know what else you're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
So
son of a bitch.
Hey,
it'll be
what
okay.
if Storm comes down and has the game of his life?
Right.
It's true.
We've been surprised before.
I'm shamelessly
Kevin.
positive, but shit,
I don't know,
that's
man. You're
extreme.
You seem like you're struggling right now.
The Storm Norton scares the shit out of me.
I know. Well, Trey Pipkins scared the shit out of us, and look how well
Wasn't
he
it
did.
Storm Norton who was in that let our boy Justin Herbert get destroyed in that
I
rib
don't
car?
know. Everyone
so
had
long
a hand
ago.
in that.
Okay.
I don't know. It's
All
all
right.
kind of foggy right
We had
now.
a backup center. We were in bad shape.
It was
in
a
that
team
game.
effort on that
Yeah,
one.
it was a team effort getting
They
Justin.
all got together and hurt his ribs.
All right. Well, let's look at some quotes right now, starting with Staley on how much Johnson's injury will impact the defensive line. He said it's an opportunity for these other guys to be able to contribute. We know the guys that are likely to take his place. It's going to be an opportunity for us to show that we can play team defense, and we're going to have to. I'm really disappointed because Austin Johnson has been fantastic since he's gotten here. I love coaching him. We love coaching him, but this is part of the NFL. We'll get him back here soon. He's going to stay with us, and he is going to be a key contributor, helping these guys throughout the rest of the season. I mean, it speaks to the reason why we picked him up in the offseason, and speaks to his character being one of those guys that still contributes, even though he's injured, even though he's out for the rest of the season. He's going to be there to mentor.
If our run defense was like out of this world, I'd be like, oh damn, I wonder what's going to happen now. But in all honesty, our run defense has not been that great. So it's not like I'm like, oh, Austin Johnson. It's not like losing Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Rashawn Slater. Like, it's like you don't know how much, especially as just a fan watching the game, you don't know how big of a deal Austin Johnson's loss is going to be. I've seen people online saying he's the unsung hero of the defensive line so far this year. I don't know. I mean, we have one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. So it sucks. I obviously don't want him to get hurt, but it doesn't make me as scared as being on our third string tackle on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Right. Great. Well put. Staley talked about Isaiah Spiller's performance and said, I thought that he looked calm. I thought he had a lot of productive runs. He was getting positive yards. I thought he hit a couple of creases. I know there was one run that he kind of lost his balance that he wish he had back, but he had a couple of opportunities in pass protection to really show who he is, which I really liked in the game. So
I thought he fell forward. It's like when he made contact, he wasn't just stuck.
Yeah.
He was always falling forward or glancing off of a shoulder pad to get those 2-3 extra yards.
Right.
Yeah, he just looked like he had a little something in him, and it seemed clean, like he played a clean game.
Yeah, made an impact. I mean, when his opportunity for him to come in and play, he was getting positive yards, and like you said, he was making some blocks, and that's what we need right now in the running back, especially with the offensive line being what it is. We need all the help we can get in protecting Justin Herbert, and so to contribute in that aspect, obviously, is going to catch the coach's attention. And then finally, on Austin Eckler's impact on the offense and the team, he said he provides so much energy for our team in the playmaking. Once he's gotten going for us, now he has like 10 touchdowns or something like that. He has 10 touchdowns in not a short period of time, like a 5-game span or something like that, scoring the ball for us. He's just been such a big engine for us. Last year, he had 20 touchdowns. Number one, we're moving the ball. He scores most of his touchdowns in the red area. I think he just gives you that ability to score the ball both ways, running the ball, catching the ball. Then we've been able to get him involved in the passing game, and that really helps us. When you have your receivers down, you have to be able to find a way to move the football. And he does that for us in more ways than one. I think he's doing a great job for us. He's playing with toughness and setting the example. He's produced for us really well the last several weeks.
Yeah, it's all what we all thought, what we all know. It's just awesome.
You just
I
got to
love that
get him
guy.
the ball. The first 3 weeks, he just was not touching the ball enough.
Right.
Just bottom line, like that has to be, you look at the percentage of who's getting what, he just wasn't touching the ball enough. I don't care if he has a 2-yard gain, a 3-yard gain, just keep getting him the ball and something good is going to happen.
There you go.
Totally.
That's the mantra, folks. Just keep getting Eckler the football. Well, I can't think of a good transition for this. So for those of you that don't know, we've got a Patreon going right now. We've officially kicked it off. There's some fun videos going right now. We've gotten one new Patreon person, patron, if you will, and that is Nicola McLeod. Thank you so much for coming on. Yes, round of applause for Nicola to come on and join. And if you want to go check it out, go to patreon.com/ChargerChat. You can check out all the fun stuff we've got going on over there. We've got more videos sitting, waiting in the wings to come out and make you laugh. And
the next Hollywood Coach's Corner might be my favorite thing we've done so far.
It's pretty wild.
Time. It's a wild one.
The laughs show how much it's Kevin's favorite.
It's awesome.
So if you want to see Kevin lose his mind, go to patreon.com/ChargerChat. And if you don't want to go to patreon.com, that's okay. You can go on over to ChargerChat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we've got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in our members section and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check out ChargerChat.com. All right, gang. Well, we talked about it. We have a new segment with some of our favorite ladies in the world, the Brisket Broads, coming in with their segment, Brisket A'broads. Ladies.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's no place they wouldn't try to hang out with Justin and his squad. Get ready to hear their positive thoughts. It's time for Brisket A'broads.
Oh, hi. Hey, guys. What are you guys doing here in the hallway of our hotel? Welcome to Brisket A'broads, because we're abroad.
And we're broads. This broad had a weird dream last night.
It wasn't that weird. But to start it off, just to give you the context of our time at this away game, I had a dream last night that I was on the Chargers. I was whatever is below the practice squad on the team. And I got called in to play because our team was so injured. So they had to start pulling from whatever is beneath the practice squad, and that was me. And as I was running on the field, the coach was like, you got to tell Justin the play when you get out there. So I get out there, Justin's like, what's the play? I'm like, you got to throw to number 15. And which was weird when Cameron Dicker came out on the field today, and he was number 15. I was like, whoa, because we didn't know, what his number was going to be.
No one told us.
No one told us. Also, that's Jalen Guyton's number, so excuse you. But good job on the game. Anyways, in my dream, Cameron Dicker didn't exist. They were like, Justin was like, who's number 15 that I'm supposed to throw to? And I was like, it's Joey Bosa.
Trick play.
In my dream, he was injured, but he was coming in for his trick play. So Justin throws the ball, it gets tipped, goes up in the air, I catch it. I'm like, holy crap. I take 2 steps, and someone punches the ball out, and I fumble, and then I got tackled. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm a little girl, and I just got tackled by a full-grown man that was huge. And I was like, that hurt. This wasn't fun. And then Justin was like, hey, I think you need to practice. And I was like, yeah, I've actually never even done this before.
Why am I out here?
Why am I here? So that was my dream.
Yeah.
I don't know what it meant, but apparently it was a good omen.
Yeah, it meant the Chargers were going to win.
It meant the Chargers were going to win because I wasn't playing on the team. I don't know if that was the type of stuff that you guys wanted to know about.
That's the kind of stuff we have to offer.
What was your opinion of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia?
I liked it. it looks cool from the outside, and it wasn't too big, so you could walk around it fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're in the inside, it has this big hole in the roof.
Well, the roof,
I mean, it's not
open.
Yeah, it's supposed to be there. So you can see the clouds. It's really nice. The Jumbotron at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Not so good. It's too high.
It's so high.
They had this thing in the beginning and the warm-up time, everyone's just hanging out, lots of fans. At SoFi, they do lots of fun, little silly things. And so I guess they were attempting to do some fun, silly things with the fans using the Jumbotron. But I think the thing that they have to do is called the oblivious cam. So they put someone on and then they have a timer for how long it takes before the person realizes they're on the Jumbotron because it's just too high. Nobody's really looking up there. And it got like almost to a full minute on this one guy.
It took a long time.
Atlanta Falcon fans. They're fine. Nobody was yelling anything mean. The only time there was mean thing was when all of us Charger fans in our section and surrounding sections, we started chanting, "Let's go Chargers," which probably, what are you going to chant? But the point was we were all doing it together and it felt great.
Magical.
So it was like
great.
when we came back to be tied, probably
I think
we were
it
just
was.
tied. So we weren't even winning, but we were just like,
We just weren't
we're
losing.
winning. And so we were all chanting, and then the Falcons fans were booing us. But it felt appropriate. Like, you should be booing us because we are being obnoxiously excited together. And it was so wonderful.
We're making it seem like this is a home game.
Yeah, chef's kiss for that moment for sure. Another big highlight of our experience was Homeless Joe.
Oh, man. Homeless Joe. He gets a game ball today. He saw us looking lost and alone.
You just took Joe's game ball.
Yeah, because I was going to give it to him later.
Joe, go along. He's here in this hallway, actually. He caught it.
He escorted us all the way from our hotel to the stadium and told us lots of fun anecdotes and jokes.
By the way, he introduced himself as Homeless Joe. We're not calling him that, okay?
No. We are calling him that, but only because he told us to call him that.
Yeah. And we think homeless is a good thing because we're also homeless.
Yeah.
We asked Mary's parents what some of their favorite moments of the game was. Roll it.
All right. Mother of the broad, father of the broad.
Yes.
What were your 2 favorite moments of the game? We'll go with you first, Mom.
One of my most favorite moments was when we won! I called Asante's name and he looked at me!
All right, same question to you, Dad.
I would say each time people would come up to you two and would say, "Oh, the Brisket A'broads, would you take your picture with us?" I thought that was so cool. And at the end of the game, when the team hoisted number 15, Digger the kicker, up onto their shoulders, I just thought that was really awesome. I love that.
What a great game.
It was.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice.
Yeah. Love them.
Wow. Thank you guys for coming with us.
Yeah, game ball to my parents.
We didn't really talk about what our favorite moments were. I guess it was Austin's second touchdown, which we got to be in the end zone right where both those touchdowns happened. So freaking awesome. His second touchdown, he spiked the ball and he pointed at us because, we're right there and we're cheering and that just feels good.
Yeah. And then Austin Johnson.
Yeah, when Austin Johnson got carted off because he got hurt, and so we're right there and we're standing and clapping, and then as he was going into the tunnel he saw us and he looked up and did one of those, and that thing where you're making eye contact with someone and you're like, hey, I care about what's happened to you. And so it was nice to get to be there and to see that he saw that we cared about him. Those are my 2 favorite moments.
One of my favorite moments was when the Chargers defense made us stop, and Derwin was really excited and he ran over close to where we were and he took his helmet off and he was like, "Ah!" And that was just nice. nice to feel like you're a part of something. And there were so many Chargers fans. That was another thing that I really loved. Like, it felt like the Texans game all over again. There was just so many powder blues.
Yeah.
Felt like we were taking over that tailgate party.
Yeah.
And it felt like we were taking over that game.
Yeah. Trey McKitty, like towards the end of the game, sometimes I think maybe we should actually look out at the players and stuff and try and get them to come over. But sometimes we're just too into what's going on with ourselves and being happy about the game. But we did wave at Trey McKitty as he was kind of leaving. He was still pretty far away. So it was like, why was he waving over at us? But then we were all like really waving. And then we were like, come here, come over here. And he was like, like he was gonna come. And they were like, come on. And then he didn't. And we're like, and then he tripped and fell in the tunnel. We could see. It was like a funny, like he slipped and then like he didn't get hurt. I hope he didn't get hurt.
Oh my gosh.
But, then he was kind of, you could tell he was kind of like, I was such a klutz. And then we're like, see, Trey, you should have come over to us.
Fallen.
And you never would have fallen for the rest of your life. That's probably enough.
Mm-hmm.
What's our like sign out thing?
Special handshake.
Our special handshake. We're going to do our special handshake now. Brisket A'broads.
All right. Well, let's hear it for Heather and Mary, the Brisket A'broads, their first segment, folks.
Awesome.
Bro, you got to be careful with those people that don't have homes. I know you guys don't, and you feel like you're a part of a clan. Just be careful, all right?
Yeah, homeless, was it Homeless Joe?
Right.
Yeah.
The first mention of Homeless Joe, we were mildly concerned,
like,
but to hear that
what?
he got the game ball and he caught it. That's fabulous. We love to hear that. And
also, Heather's parents, sweetest. I want to hang out with them.
We can see, we can see where the apple doesn't fall far from the tree when it comes to the sense of humor and the.
It's amazing.
Just the hilarity of it. That is so sweet and awesome, and we love you guys so much. Thank you for giving us an insight into Atlanta, into the whole in the stadium, and
it is tough. Like the most of their football experience is SoFi Stadium,
right?
So now you're going to all the other stadiums around the country. It just the bar is set unrealistically high, especially when it comes to like big screens.
Sure. Yeah,
we're the
come on, Atlanta,
best.
Get better.
I want to hear though.
Screen.
The one thing about SoFi that I think sucks is the food. I'd love to hear the Brisket A'broads like favorite food stadium
food review
too. Yeah, food reviews.
Yeah, let's get some food reviews. There's a lot of opportunities, but for our first segment, great job.
We applaud you.
Great job.
We
applaud
Absolutely
you.
Killed it.
Brisket A'broad, first segment. You love to see it. Let's move it on now to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see what Fan Kev sat down with and brought into focus.
Bobby! All right, guys, we are back with another Fan Focus, and we are super lucky to have Bobby from Riverside. What is going on, my friend?
Way too much as always, man.
I love it. I love it. Victory Mondays, my favorite time to meet people. Smiles are all over the place. People are happy, and we're excited to have you on, man. And let's kick this off the way we always do. How did you become a Charger fan?
Well, man, growing up, I really always wasn't into football. But my sister started dating this guy, and he told me at one point, like right around 2000, 2002, he's like, dude, you got to pick a team. You can't just be this guy who goes, oh, vote for that guy. Or yeah, cheer for them. It's like, He goes, you can't be a cheerleader. You got to be a fan. So he says, well, do you want to like a local team? I'm like, sure, whatever. I don't care. And he said, well, what? He goes, we got to figure something out. So pick a uniform. I'm like, well, I saw one that's bright, kind of yellow and blue. And he goes, thought about it for like hardcore 60 seconds. And he goes, well, that bright yellow and blue, that's got to be the Chargers. It's got to be the Chargers. Well, with him being a 49er fan and me not knowing much about football, I didn't really think anything of it. So a few years down the road, I saw where I was hanging out with him. He was watching the 49ers play in Seattle. And I'm like, hey, that was a jersey I liked, but man, he did not want a Seattle fan in the family. Whew.
I love it. Oh, I'm glad that he led you down the proper path accidentally.
As am I.
That's awesome. So fans since early 2000s, you've been on the roller coaster, man. You've been in all the Rivers years, all the early stuff, and now Justin, Phil, baby, you know what's up, my man over there.
Yes, sir.
So what are your thoughts, man? Generally just kind of where you see us as a team, what you're excited about with, where we've come to where we are now as Chargers.
Oh man, it's as you said, it's that emotional roller coaster, or it's that elevator up and down. And I'm where we're at right now. I like to see where we're going. I know I like the direction we're going. I like how we've been active in free agency this year compared to decades past.
Sure.
I think I'm a huge fullback fan. So when I saw them pick up Horvath, I was like, I'm jumping up and down. Like my mock drafts, of course, when you get down that far, you're like, who do you want? I'm like, dude, I want this guy. He's huge.
Did you were pulling for him when we drafted him? Oh, I love that.
100%, man. So like Lorenzo Neal is one of my favorite Chargers. Like like going back to the LT days,
monster.
But and just like I was stoked. Like I was stoked this weekend. Watching Eckler's run touchdown. He stealed that edge and Eck just ran right into the back of him and just punched right around it. And I was.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. He's awesome.
The coaching staff, I know a lot of people are down on Stealin right now. The guy, he's a new coach. You go into a different team, he's never been a head coach. So, I mean, the guy's going to make some questionable calls, but I love what we're doing with the offense. I love what we're doing with the defense. I hate what we're doing with the injuries.
Yeah, for sure.
That bug is rough.
Yeah, it caught us again this last game too.
Dude, I know.
Somehow we're getting through them, and Justin finally looked like himself this week and was getting the ball out quick and rolling and doing stuff he doesn't normally do in the last few weeks. So we have Justin. As long as you have Justin Herbert, you have a chance.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I loved watching him sling. I mean, we even saw Justin of old where he's throwing it so hard that it's hitting guys right in the hand and blowing right through.
I love it. The power.
Sorry, Palmer.
Yeah. Hey, hang on to those, man. Come on. No more. The thing is, it's so crazy. Like, the interceptions he has are always like a receiver bouncing off their helmet because he throws them so hard, or like they can't get their hands on it. It's a good problem to have, I guess. But yeah, man. So tell us, what do you this game coming up? We're playing the, you mentioned it, the Niners. It's a scary team. They kind of loaded up recently with a new running back who's always been a pain in the ass for fantasy for me, but he's now a Niner in McCaffrey. So what are your thoughts on this game? I think people may not have the most confidence going into this game just because of the names, but we're pulling the shit out. We're finding ways to do it. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think, of course I'm pulling for the Chargers. It's going to be a house divided here because, like I said, my brother-in-law and his kids are all Niner fans. And so me and all my daughters, we're all Charger fans. So
awesome.
It's going to be house divided, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think it is. I think we're going to be getting at Garoppolo early in the game, getting in his head, just the same thing we do with Carr.
Yeah.
Every time, I wish I could say it was going to be the Bosa Mack stack attack, but just to be the hopefully we get to see Tranquil run up the middle again and just lay him on his back, and that we can just contain Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I think those are going to be our big things. I mean, I think Debo's still out. I think Kittle's the guy. Actually, I'm not really concerned with. I shouldn't say not concerned because I'm always concerned about McCaffrey, but
yeah,
I think Derwin's going to kind of be his shadow for most of the game. But I think Kittle, that's the guy I worry about.
Yeah.
But I still think we're going to pull out the W. I think it's going to be a closer game than most people do. I think it's going to be like 20-27. Of course, Bolt's taking it home.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good game.
I love it. And it's, it's under the bright lights, man. Sunday night games, those are always fun, man. Got extra eyes on you. So let's do it. And then let's get you out of here on this, man. Like, your fondest Charger memory of your history being a 20 plus year fan.
Honestly, I was at, I know I told you before we started, I was a huge, while we were going, I'm a huge Horvath fan. I'm a huge fullback fan.
Yeah.
So one of the first games I got to go to was Chargers were playing the Cardinals. It was at Qualcomm. And I just remember seeing this play where it was to secure the game, to get us moving forward into the, just to lock it up so we can kneel down the rest out. And I remember it was Rivers to Lorenzo Neal just for that 2-yard game, but he blew it out to like 18 yards.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know what it is about that, but there's all the connections between, 1785 and like that was always fun for me, but just that one play stands out. I know it ain't much, but
no, that's specific as the specific as hell. I love that. It's just those moments, and I love fullbacks too. I'm definitely a fullback guy, so I'm with you on that, man. Well, hey, Bobby, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you and getting to do this, and we really appreciate your time, brother.
Hey, man, it is my pleasure. Thank you guys so much for having me on, and feel blessed and bolt up. And real quick, I want to throw a shout out to Craig, man. I'm praying for you and your family.
Yeah,
sorry you're going through everything, but you got love out here, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man. Yeah, we'll definitely send that his way. And yeah, man, let's get this win. Hopefully that house divided, you and your daughters can celebrate and, make it rain all over those dumb Niner fans. You know what I mean? So, all right, brother.
No doubt.
Thank you so much, Bobby. We'll talk to you later.
Take care, my friend.
Take it easy, bud.
You love to see it, Bobby. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with
brother.
Kev, man. Such great insights. Again, man, the unis bringing in the fans.
Drawing them in like moth to a flame.
Just those colors. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Is it the color combination? Is it everything about it? Just the way that it's put together? Like, what is it, do you think, that pulls these fans in, that just makes them go, I gotta have that?
It's just sexier. It's just a sexy vibe. People like sexy things, and it's a sexy vibe.
It is, yes.
It's provocative.
It's provocative.
People going.
Provocative. Chargers uniforms.
Let's go.
Chargers jerseys. That is so cool. And yeah, what great random pulls for some of the favorite plays, man. Those are some deep cuts for sure.
Fullback time.
I love that. I love it. There's always something that's gonna stick in somebody's memory, as far as like the memories of different plays and stuff like that, So I love it, man. Bobby, thank you again so much for coming on and chatting with Kev. And it's time now, folks, to go on to an extra beefy Ask Boltfam. Boy, I thought the losses would bring out, everybody, but man, the wins, there's a lot of you guys.
It's the best.
There's some big scripts in here.
Best.
So let's waste no time. Let's get right to it.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam, and we started off with an old friend, Carl Burlington.
Carl!
Who asked the question?
Oh, Falcons. You think chaos is your ally. You merely adopted the chaos. Us Chargers were born in it, molded by it. We didn't see a normal football game until we were already grown men. And by then it was nothing to us but blinding. The chaos betrays you because it belongs to us. We will show you where we've made our home while preparing to bring justice. Then, Dicker the kicker will break you. The powerful will be ripped from their decadent nests and cast out into the cold that we know and endure. We are 5-3. Herbert and his ragged army marches on. We will prevail.
I love that Herbert and his ragged army.
Herbert and his ragged army will prevail.
Dicker the kicker will break you. I
love it. In the chaos.
Boy, you know what? That was one thing that we didn't talk about too. The chant, Kev. The Miss It chant. I forgot that we
worked.
It worked,
you guys
man.
did it again?
We did the Miss It chant, and that's when Young Wei Koo
got him,
shanked it.
Young Wei
missed it. Yeah, it's amazing that that the magic still works, and we can we can make them miss it, man.
Yeah, we're batting a pretty good average.
It makes me really happy that you guys feel like you have an impact on the game.
It clearly does.
It's clearly happening.
Because the Brisket Broads did it too, and I think it's power in numbers, folks. So whenever the kicker is up for the other team, just chant, miss it, miss it. Miss it.
There's like a vibe in the atmosphere all over the world. Carl.
It travels states.
Carl's very far away overseas. Was it Sweden, Norway? No. Damn it, Carl.
Taking guesses.
Sorry, Carl. But you're far enough away. You can do this, and it works. Everybody, let's get together. It does, Kyle. It
doesn't work.
It does.
It
It's
works
worked-
if you believe
It's
it works.
worked 3 times for
This
us.
leads to the delusion of our fan base thinking they get a say in anything that happens. You need to stop.
I will never
Cut it off.
We're having
Ever,
You
fun.
don't have any
ever.
say.
I do.
No.
Yes.
Carl Bollingtoff, thank you so much for asking the question. Let's move it on now to OM Run, who asked the question. Anyone see Shane Day jump up into Herbert's arms at the end? Full leg wrap and everything. That was so the end of Officer and a Gentleman. Somebody write a script for Wool Dog. I don't have that kind of talent, LOL.
I did see that. That was pretty.
Yes.
They
The
were so
happiness.
excited about
So
this
happy.
win.
Yes, the happiness
They did-
of the win was a perfect camera cut to those guys.
It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
Herbert gave one to Staley too, right after
Oh,
the
yeah.
game. You could see the hug, and then Coach Staley said something, and then he like tightened it. You saw his forearm kind of
love.
flex with the big hug. Yeah.
Loving the hug.
Yeah, I think it was Herbie's mama on Twitter captioned it of him saying, "I love you too," to Coach Staley. So I
Coach
think
Staley.
if you watch it, if you read lips, if you watch Justin Herbert, it kind of looks like he's saying, "I love you too."
I love you
so
too.
Did you guys say "I love you" into the TV, and he felt it, and that's why he said it?
it's possible.
think?
We chanted it.
Yeah.
I
We did.
love you.
I love you.
And he felt it.
And he felt it, and he
Justin Herbert,
he said it to
you're
Staley, and
my
Staley's like, "Why?
boo."
Why'd you say I love you too? I didn't say I love you. That's weird.
Yeah.
Why'd you
Oh,
say
weird.
that?
It's fine.
Um,
I like you a lot.
I love you too, man. OM Run, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Yoshitomo,
Certified fresh.
who asked the question. Hey guys, just wondering, did you guys still think we need a change in coaching after the W? And isn't Austin Eckler the best 5'9" back in the league? Well, to say that we still think we need a change in coaching
That would imply
infer that
we ever had that thought.
that was our thought at the ever. And
It's implying that fan base was thinking
Yeah.
that. I think.
okay,
I don't want any changes in our staff whatsoever. I really think that this offense is going to get better the healthier Justin gets. You saw that happen early. People are upset about first quarter play calls. They weren't amazing, but they figured it out and they got the ball moving. So
responded.
I'm still on Lombardi. I'm absolutely on Staley. I don't think he's going anywhere. So that's how I feel about the coaching.
I don't know what you're upset about in that game with coaching. I don't know how they could have coached it any better to get the scrubs, like the backups that we had on the field, and get a W against a good Falcons team.
Yeah.
Falcons were first in their division. Now they were 4-4, but you're playing against a good team. I don't know. You won with guys that I don't know how you're upset with the coaching staff at all.
Right.
If anything, they should have hopefully proved all the doubters wrong.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, to expect any game in the NFL to be 100% from start to finish for a
No.
team, like that doesn't happen. Like it all comes down to, the players that you have out there, the talent you have, the coaching, the execution. There's so many
Yeah,
different
and
factors.
The coaches can call a perfect game. That doesn't mean the players are going to execute it.
Right. Yeah. Again,
Well,
when you're dealing with backup guys, like to expect them to play like they've got 100 on freaking Madden, like that doesn't happen.
Even some of the veterans, Sony Michel and Everett, both dropped balls because they started to look upfield before they caught it.
Yeah.
Those are veterans and they're
Yeah.
making mistakes. So
Yeah.
Those are things that the coaching doesn't. They can coach them up to not do that stuff, but those are
Right.
veterans. Those guys don't need to be told that.
Right.
So that's. I'm not putting any. It's easy to put blame on the coaches. I'm not putting any blame on them.
No, and it's not to say that the coaches are infallible. Like
Sure.
it takes everybody to make this happen, but to put the entire blame on the coaching staff is not the answer.
No.
Right.
So
We'll get cooking by the end. In the next month, everyone I think will be kind of excited about where this offensive goes once we get our other guys back and Herbert's feeling good, feeling himself. It's going to be like what everyone got so excited about last year.
Mhm.
The big games, the big plays, the exciting Charger offensive football. I don't think it's gone. It will come back, and I think that has a lot to do with Justin's, how he's feeling.
there you go. Yoshitomo, thank you for asking the question.
And best 5'9" back in the league, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands
Easily.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best backs in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not even a question. Let's move it on now to Paul McBender,
Certified fresh.
who asked the
It's
question.
got to be certified fresh.
Why do we have receivers running shadow routes over one another?
I I defer to the coach on this one. What is there?
I don't know.
Well,
they like straight lines, I guess. I don't know.
So when he
Good
says
question.
that, break it down for those of us that aren't familiar with the terminology that he just said. So
Honestly,
receivers running shadow routes over one another. What is a shadow route?
I'm not exactly sure what the question is. I don't know. It could refer to a lot of different things.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So do you think it's what I gathered is like the receivers running similar routes on multiple depths of the defense? I think that's what he's implying.
Flood routes are. I don't think that's what it may be. But sometimes you run flood routes against the zone. So if the other team's running a cover 3, you have a flat defender, you have a hook curl, and you have a deep third. So you kind of flood those routes, making them make a decision, and hopefully that opens somebody up. A shadow route. I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about football, or maybe he's just referring to something that
maybe
is
the
unique
flood
to his terminology.
The flood is what you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what a shadow route. So come back in and ask again, and maybe a play that I can look at would be helpful, because maybe I don't know what a shadow route is.
Well, there you go. Stump the coach. I like it. Paul McBender, thank you for asking the question. We'll try to get it clarified. Let's move it on now to Kanyeezy 1785.
Sup, guys? Long time no see. I'm going to drop a mixed bag for y'all. I'll make it short and sweet. I think we need to be allowed to criticize this team and not be called a doom and gloomer. When you love something, you can't be absolutely blinded and need to maintain a leveled view of things. Joe Lombardi is a mediocre play caller at best. How many times did we see Michelle in for Eckler on key third downs? There were several plays where receivers were bunched up together. One came in the fourth where Palmer thought the ball was going to him. It goes through his hands, and Carter, 4 to 5 yards behind him, catches it for a first down. Everett on a screen when we have much shiftier players? The way the team looks so dead in the first quarter for the past, 3 to 4 weeks is so concerning. Lombardi has 2 weeks to think of a game plan that would attack Atlanta's 30th ranked passing defense and fail for the most part. I want him gone after the season. Let's promote Shane Day. I'm done excusing Lombardi with injuries and everything else. A good coach adjusts to what he has and finds ways to make players shine. Lombardi has not achieved that. On a positive note, this team is finding ways to win, and that's exciting. We'll have Joey Keenan and Mike back within the next few weeks. Hell, if we're a playoff team, Slater could be ready by then. We keep getting these tight wins, and we'll be ready to make a strong push in the playoffs. Got a tough 2-game stretch versus some Super Bowl contenders. We win one of these 2, and we're in business, boys. My apologies for the long read. Yeah, short and sweet, might ask there, Kanyeezy. Just wanted to show that not all of us who criticize this team, even when we win, are gloomers. Bolt up.
There's
a lot to unpack here, Kanyeezy.
It's in a response to a tweet I said where it's, basically, I just seen so many people angry for so long. Like, there is an element of doom and gloom. We always said every single time, be the fan you want to be, however that is. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just, it was overwhelming the last 2 weeks.
Right.
And to get a win and to still see people complain is like, okay, I don't know what else to say. But be you, 100%. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. It's just, it's tiresome when you're trying to be positive.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Kanyeezy. We've said, criticize, absolutely. Show your work. Talk about, what it is that you want to criticize. And just criticizing doesn't mean you're a doom and gloomer.
No.
When we're talking to doom and gloomers, we're talking about the people that are like, season's over. Pack it up, boys. It's done with.
Yeah.
Why are we even bothering? Sit Herbert. Let Easton Stick go out there and break his
Charger stuff.
Yeah.
Burn the place down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm implying.
We're more, and the people that get, angry about it, like you can feel the emotion. And like, I guess emotion is good, but it's when the people are just blindly swinging and whoever they can,
it's like at those
unload their
thrash
rage
metal
at.
concerts where there's that one guy in the mosh pit just like trying to hit people as he's just dancing.
Yeah. Criticism, especially constructive criticism, is warranted. And if it's constructive, that's appreciated, because then it's like, okay, let's have a conversation about this. Let's talk about this.
And I feel like you laid out why you're frustrated. You showed your work on why you're bothered. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe me, the the doom and gloom was not directed at you specifically, Kanye. I promise.
Unless you're trying to trade Justin Herbert, then it was. But if it wasn't, then you're good.
I hope that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And yeah, hey, way to end on a positive note, my friend. I applaud you for turning it around. Good job, Kanye 1785.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough 2-game stretch coming up. And if we can take one of these wins, that would be amazing.
I just have a couple of things, potential different ways to look at some of your
here we go.
Criticisms,
conversations. I love this.
Yeah, this is, and I think that there are probably better play callers out there. I don't like the idea of one is Shane Day has never been an offensive play caller. So to hope and kind of at a whim of I hope he's just better. That's hard for me. Like if we're going to move on, let's move on to somebody that knows what he's doing, has done it, and is going to come in and you already know what you're getting. I think that's tough to just expect Shane Day to step up and be that guy. We've seen, what was our previous quarterback coach over at Houston? Pep Hamilton. Hasn't had that much success. So it's not just an automatic, if you're a quarterback coach, you can call plays. The third down guys on the field. Now, the offensive coordinator has a say, but what they've said several times is that's the running back coach making those moves. He's subbing guys in and out. We don't know what X doing on the field of, hey, I'm gassed. I need out, or hey, I tweaked my ankle. I need to play off. So that's hard to criticize that offensive play caller based on Eckler being on the field or not, because there's a lot of elements that go into that. Everett on a screen, didn't see it coming. Defense didn't see it coming. The obvious thing is to throw a screen to Carter, to Eckler, and every time we do that, they sniff it out instantly, and it's no gain. We tried the screen to Eckler there on the red zone when we were going down to score to take a 4-point lead, and they sniffed it out, and he ended up throwing it late. We lost 5 yards. So sometimes that little wrinkle is huge. If you can throw, even if you only get 5-6 yards, and I think we got a pretty decent little chunk on that, that keeps the defense accountable. Now you have Gerald Everett as a threat in multiple ways. You can't just defend him one certain way. So I think some of this stuff, it's getting a little bit nitpicky in my opinion. But I don't think that he calls a perfect game every time. I think sometimes it absolutely gets a little bit predictable. But some of the stuff, the 4 to 5 yards, that's not the design. The play design, if DeAndre Carter was that close to Josh Palmer, that somebody ran the wrong route. It wasn't designed that way. That wasn't the offensive coordinator's play design. So yeah, those are just some of the different ways to think at some of that stuff.
There you go.
Because I don't know. I could just, it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
No, I think it's good that you make those comments, because I think it's easy to just think that it's just that Lombardi or any offensive coordinator is just a puppet master and is saying, this is what I want my players to do, whether they do a good play or not. Like, that's what I want them to do. And it's not always the case. It's not always, them doing that. There's so many different elements that can happen in every single play. There's a lot of people on the sideline, folks, and they're not just standing there, with their hands in the pockets, twiddling their thumbs. Like, there's so many moving pieces on that sideline, and that includes the running back coach in some of those situations. So
yeah, and like the route separation stuff, if there's no defenders, they probably run that route perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a corner, or you have a slot corner, a nickel corner up pressing you, they're taking away inside. So you have to push up, and you end up getting higher than you wanted to be before you can come across the field. Now your routes are going to be closer together.
Right.
Coach Lombardi did not design the play like that, but because you were not able to get an inside release for whatever reason, that guy's really good and pressed you up the field. Now the separation is tighter, and we still completed the pass. So
right.
Yeah, it's there's just so much that goes into every single
There's
play.
so
It makes
much.
it tough
And
to
that's-
criticize from the couch.
Exactly. And that's not to say that Kyle's 100% right. That's not to say that you're 100% wrong. There could, some of the things you could be saying could absolutely be true, but we have no way of knowing.
I don't even know what a shadow route is.
There you go. So Kanye 1785, thank you for asking the question.
And good
Let's
to hear
move it
from
on.
you again. Welcome back.
Absolutely.
welcome back.
Let's move it on now to Decane DeBolt, Maine. Decane DeBolt, Maine.
That's fresh.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Super fresh.
Super fresh.
What's up, guys? I've been listening to your podcast for quite some time now, but I think this is the time to give you a big up for this great show. It's always huge fun. What you've got to say about the little bitch in the black-white secondhand jersey, as I don't know many Chargers fans in Germany yet, by the way, is there a German chapter of Die Hard Bolt Club? It's great to get to know the Bolt fam over here. Now, after that being said, I would at first like to ask you about your opinion over the current state of the AFC West. As I see it, Kermit still does his thing, which has to be respected, even though I wish him being sacked every time he screams for the blue lady. The Lonesome Rider is still playing like a piece of horse shit, even though they were lucky last weekend to win against a really bad Jets offense. The little face-painted right turd seems to be trying to be the first $120 million quarterback trying to get benched, which would be totally insane. All loved Bolts have their problems on their own, but I'm totally confident that they will win against the Falcons and will make it to the playoffs. Also, I've got another question which is important for me as I don't know how it is solved in the U.S. As for JC, there was the information that this could be a career-ending injury, which I really hope it's not. I would like to know what will happen to his contract if he ends up being done with playing football. Will his contract expire, or will he still get money from the Spanos fam for the next 4 years? In Germany, it is like the healthcare insurance pays for the player as long as necessary, but I don't know how it works in the U.S. So even though this isn't a shamelessly positive question, I would really appreciate if you could answer this question for me. And with that being said, I wish all the best to JC, so he will be back soon. F*** the retards and the donkeys. Can love you, bye. Dominic.
What's up, Dominic? Well,
Dominic.
My
wow.
German friend.
My goodness.
There's a Die Hard Bolt Club in Germany. There is.
Woo.
100%. So
Woo.
I believe they were at the big like party they have every year. Go reach out to them. Just go find Die Hard Bolt Club Germany. Search for them on Twitter. I'm positive that they have a chapter out there, which is
absolutely
awesome.
Yes. All right. Well, as far as some of the questions here, as far as the AFC West, how it's looking right now, I mean, how are we feeling looking at the AFC West?
There's
It's
two
the
shitty.
Chiefs.
There's the Chiefs, and there's two shitty teams.
Yeah.
And then us. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how everyone thought this was going to be the greatest division in the Super Bowl era.
Football history.
Right.
Yeah, and the Raiders just sucked it up so hard.
I can't believe they're
just so bad.
They're so bad.
Losing in games where it's like, well, shit, they're going to win.
20-point lead.
Yeah.
17-point lead.
Double-digit lead, and then all of a sudden, their other team comes from behind and wins it. So, I mean, obviously, we looked at the Raiders specifically, and we're like, all right, Devontae Adams is going to help them out, but I don't think it's really going to make a big difference. And obviously, it hasn't. I mean, they're still, yes, is Devontae Adams getting catches and touchdowns? Absolutely. Is it making them win games?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Not yet. Same thing with Russell Wilson. I mean, we talked about Russell Wilson going to the Broncos, and it's like, I don't know, he could be a pretty good quarterback.
They just traded Bradley Chubb. That says enough about where they think their season's
There you go.
headed.
There you go. So, yeah, that's nothing to be concerned about with the Broncos and the Chiefs, man. Boy, if they could get the refs off of their freaking roster, I think that would be amazing. But yeah, they just somehow find ways to win in some of these last second moments for some of these really close games for the Chiefs, man. I really would love to see them get taken down a peg or two. Maybe the Chargers will be the ones to do that here in this upcoming game against the Chiefs in what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks,
2.
So, yeah. And then as far as the question with JC, I have no idea what happens with the contract.
Yeah. So most contracts have guaranteed money. That money is theirs no matter what. No matter if they're injured, they're cut, their career's over. Guaranteed money is guaranteed money. They're going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some have like injury stipulations and clauses where you can have like a 3-year injury clause where even if you get hurt, you never play, they still got to pay you that. Now, if they want to keep him on the roster, say it's not career ending, if you want him on your roster, you got to pay him whatever the contract is.
I have it
so
right
you
here
can
if you
cut
want to hear
him and get out of the guaranteed money.
So it was a 5-year, $82.5 million. Guaranteed at signing is 40. So he's getting
so
40.
no
matter what happens, he's getting half of that contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So hopefully he comes back because we'll be paying him $40 million for 6 games.
Yeah. So it's like if you try to cut him because it's career ending, you cut him from the roster, you're still paying him the $40 million no matter what.
Right.
Now, you're not likely. I don't know how all the little minor stipulations work, but you shouldn't be liable for the majority of the other $42 million that you would owe him if he was on your roster.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, there you go. A little insight into the AFC West, into the J.C. Jackson situation. D. Kane to Bolt, Maine. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Michael DeFries or DeFries.
Certified fresh.
Okay.
Coach, why do you think they don't have Spiller running routes and catching balls? He was a difference maker in college in the passing game.
Coach?
Yeah, coach.
I don't know why Spiller is not playing more. I really don't. I mean, every time you see him out there, he looks good. They give him the ball a couple times on some inside zones type stuff. But yeah, you don't see him active in the passing game at all. I think we would be upset though. To be honest, if you look back and they're throwing to him instead of Austin Eckler, you're like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
We'd be challenging Joe Lombardi's play calling. So I do think that eventually that would be great to see him more active in the passing game. But with Eck, how hot he is right now, every time you're going to throw to a running back, you better be throwing to Austin Eckler.
Right.
Yep.
There's
something. It was interesting too when Spiller got hurt in the preseason. I wonder how much that set him back in the opportunity category, because right after that is when we picked up Sony Michel. So I'm wondering, was this the first game we actually saw some snaps out of him? And you go watch all of them. He played well. So maybe this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
It could very well be the case. We'll have to wait and see if he gets any opportunities in that realm. But Michael DeFries, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Minute Phase 2309.
Also certified fresh.
Okay, who asked the question?
Why don't we play action more? My grandfather can tell an inside run before we do it. Why?
Why?
I don't know, man. I mean, I do see some success for some of those, but I think it also has to do with the comfortability of Justin Herbert with the coming back healthy. I think, like Kevin said earlier in the show, that they've been cautious with him, and this was one of the first games where they've finally kind of let him, off the leash a little bit and kind of be a little bit more of the Justin of old. So, I mean, we might see more of those coming down the line.
Well, play actions only work if you have a successful running game. And we haven't had one for the majority of the season. Yeah. So if you can't run the ball, there's no point in play actioning. You're not faking anybody out. Like if you're in a 3rd and 5 and they're like, there's no way they're running the ball in 3rd and 5, you can play action all day. Those linebackers aren't going anywhere. They're going to sit right there and wait. That's when you're on play action, that's just meaning you're faking the run. All you're trying to do is manipulate linebackers. So it's just, if you can't run the ball effectively, you can't. Play action doesn't work. Now, I have not seen our percentage of play action versus the rest of the NFL. I haven't noticed that it's just blatantly glaring that we don't play action. Again, maybe I have 3 kids and trying to watch a football game at the same time. But that's if that were the case, if our numbers are down compared to everybody else, I would say it's because we don't run the ball well. So if you don't run the ball well, there's no point in play actioning because it's not going to do anything.
Solid advice. Minute Phase 2309. Thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Pink Unicorn. Back to his old name, who asked the question. Is it me or are all of our opponents charging games this year? It seems like all the crazy and improbable things that normally happen to us have been happening to the other team this year. Does the team sacrifice a goat during warm-ups? Did part of the trade for Mack include an exorcist? Maybe the team's new protein fairy is Tinkerbell, and she is spiking Herbert's pregame workout with pixie dust. Whatever it is, who cares? 5-3, bitches. Also, shout out to substitute kickman, Mr. Dickman. F the Raiders and let's ride. Kill it. Bye.
So good. It has everything feels like it's just going our way in those little close games right now.
So many years.
We either get we get blown out by mediocre teams, or we're in tight ones that we pull out.
Yeah.
No,
that's what it is.
Yet. Tight ones that we pull out. All right, Kyle.
Way to go.
Safer that way.
Lobbed it up and spiked his own ball. It's something is clearly different. Don't know what it is, but we are coming out with more dubs than
I'll
off
take
than
all
not.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Maybe it's a combination of all those things.
it could very well be. Yeah, it might be a multitude of things that we don't know.
Spooky
Yet
ghost,
again.
you know? Who knows?
Uh,
Especially that fumble, the second fumble. Like
The-
that was
that was
so
just
that was so
that was
fucking crazy.
divine intervention.
That really
was meant
was.
to be. It was so
He
meant
just-
to be.
He literally just crapped his pants and threw the ball on the ground.
It's like it's like all greased up, just whoop, popped
Yeah.
out. That was crazy. That was that was
crazy.
insane because we didn't even have time. We thought he was down, so I was like, that's just they're just wasting their time running the ball. That was weird for that
Just
play for
straight up
me because
dropped
he
it,
looked
yeah.
absolutely down. And then you go back and you realize the kind of hairy shit that could have been. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like I wasn't connecting the dots right at that moment, so I was like, f it, it'll be fine. That was crazy.
No, that was absolutely wild. And absolutely shout out to the substitute kick man, Mr. Dick Man.
Mr. Dick Man.
Pink Unicorn, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Humboldt County Fan, who asked the question. Wow, my sphincter can officially unclench. That fourth quarter was bananas. After the last 4 wins this season, I'd like to officially nominate a new definition of the verb to charger, previously meaning to lose a game in some kind of batshit crazy way, like fumbling a kneel down or head-butting someone after a great defensive stop in the playoffs. From now on, charging means to fake a horrible game-losing play only to win anyway, thus mind-fucking an entire fan base while simultaneously checking the charger status of defibrillators all across the Southland. Am I right? Seriously, guys, you know that in any other year, it would either be Youngway Cool missing field goals for us or not, missing them against us, but not today. A big shout out to Herbo and Palmer for stepping up with the game on the line. A great goddamn win. And as today's other events also demonstrated, God really does take every opportunity to f*** the Raiders. Okay. I love you. Bye.
I love that voice so much. You do a good walk-in, brother.
It's getting better.
How to practice? How many hours of walking have you done?
You don't want to know. Don't ask questions. You don't want to know. Yes, absolutely. I think to charger needs to be changed because obviously this is the year where that is not the case.
Nope.
We are not doing that. And just like Pink Unicorn mentioned, like everything that normally would go against us has been going for us. It's been against the other teams now.
Yeah.
Finally, it's our time to take advantage of some of this luck I've been hearing so much about. Yeah. I love it.
It's true. Yeah.
It's true.
Definitely. We would have missed a third quarter field goal that would have come back to bite us. That is what has been the past. And thank God it was the Falcons and not us this year.
That's right.
It's meant to be.
Humboldt County Fan, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Bolted Asherman, who asked the question.
Well, hello! Frank Reich was just fired. I want to have him as offensive coordinator. That is all.
Is that 2014? What time did we just jump back to?
No, he just got fired because he couldn't
got fired
do
from the
anything
Colts, yeah.
because he was calling the plays and he couldn't do anything.
The Chargers fired him in 2015 for not being good at calling plays.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, no.
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 It's
No.
not. Down.
9.
Yeah. Nine on that one there, Bolted Asherman. But hey,
that-
I love the enthusiasm.
that was crazy.
This is going to be a busy offseason, guys. There's just going to be every coach that's fired. It's going to be, let's get him for the OC.
Let's get him.
Let's get him for the OC.
I'll take him.
Yeah.
What is he from? He coached Pop Warner? Let's get him.
Let's get him.
They were
Offensive
undefeated?
coordinator?
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go.
Kyle, you available?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't want any type of this criticism that happens.
What if
for offensive coordinator?
What if a petition starts rolling around to nominate you as the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, and it gets like 5,000 signatures or something?
I'll go in for an interview to go meet everyone, but no, I will not take that job.
I will not be here to accept your job.
Ill prepared
position.
for that.
So they
Again,
interview you.
I don't even know a shadow route. All right.
All right. Fair enough. Good point.
First question of the interview. Hey, what are your feelings
Do you
on
validate
shadow
parking?
routes?
Yeah.
I'm like, I got nothing.
They
guys.
did their research
Nice
on you.
to
They
meet
heard
you.
this.
Yeah.
And they fucking calling you out.
Thank you for your time. Bolted Ashaman, thank you for
Thanks, dude.
making the point. I don't think there was a question in there, but thank you. Let's move on now to Clear Bolt, who asked the question.
Did Herbert use the force, or did that guy just crap out the ball when he saw Herbert coming at him?
Jedi.
Maybe he is a Jedi.
I don't know. It could be a combination. We saw
Jedi powers
Justin
he
Herbert.
has.
Yeah. We saw Justin Herbert do the force push on the cameraman as he was coming out in that fourth quarter. He went,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Well, he ran into him to
You're
start the
right.
game. So
Yes.
there's something to be said for that.
Maybe
No, but
he
I'm
is a
saying,
Jedi.
like, the guy's talking about using the force. I think Justin Herbert might have a little bit of force push in him. He went, woo. And the camera, whoa. It just
shit.
got pushed
Oh,
back a
ew.
little bit.
You just see the camera fly up.
It just flips up and behind him. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of magic was just on our side there, Clear Bold. Whether it was the force or whether the guy just shit the ball out, it was magical either way.
Maybe,
but thank
maybe a
you.
little bit of both.
Good.
Couldn't there be a
That's what I'm
little bit of
saying. It's a
both?
little bit of
We're
both.
all about both options.
That's
in
right.
today's
We're
episode.
open to interpretation here at
Yeah.
the Charger Chat. Clear Bolt, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Cerberus 21, who asked the question.
Shoot! What is up, bro, chachos? This week was almost perfect if the Titans didn't shit the bed and blow their load against the Chiefs. Still pumped that we won and that the Raiders lost a double-digit lead. What a bunch of f***ing losers. While this W was a good one to bolster both the teams and the fan base's confidence, I can't help but think of a dark storm looming over the horizon. Yeah, boys, I don't know how many games of Norton I can take if Pipkins is out. My question is, do you think the coaching staff will pull Norton before or after he gets Herbert killed?
It's a good question. I did think about this a little bit. You know, I went
Yeah?
into a dark place.
Oh, no.
Before we won that game.
Oh, no.
Storm Norton's terrifying. He really is.
In a not good way.
Not good way. Yeah, he terrifies me. What? I don't know. I don't know. He's just a scary guy to have out
Who
there.
else is the option?
There
That's
isn't.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, give us some names.
What names, my guy? Like we can't
could
think
throw
of anybody.
names.
Yeah.
There's
Kyle
no
the coach
tackles.
Duggan.
Someone else.
Shane Day.
Just another name that's not
Gerald
Storm
Everett.
Norton.
We
Yeah,
could just
Frank
start going
Reich.
with.
What's Frank
guard
Reich doing?
tight
Can
end.
he tackle?
yeah. We'll put out 2 tight ends. It'll be.
We'll
you
just
know,
overload one side. We'll go center, guard, tackle because we got extra guards.
yeah,
Right.
extra
And then
guard.
on the other side, we'll go center, guard, tight end.
Yeah.
So you only have 1 tackle in the game, 3 guards. Defend that. You don't even know.
You don't even know.
Defend
What do you do?
that.
We're going overload right the whole game right now.
Yeah. I'm not as worried about it only because of the mobility of Herbert. Obviously, the guy finds a way to not get sacked more often than not. He doesn't collapse. He's not Derek Carr that just like crumbles and cries and holds onto the ball and says, "Please don't tackle me."
Yeah.
He finds a way to make it work. In fact, like you said on Sunday, Kev, it was like when he's running, when he's on the move, he's almost a better passer. So just don't let him get
And
squished.
Just don't get upset when we have a lot of quick, short passes. Because
Right. That's part of the
not
reason.
Joe Lombardi not throwing the ball down the field. That's
Because-
not wanting to get Justin Herbert killed.
Right. That's because you've got Storm
You have a
Norton on
guard
one side and a
And
rookie
a guard
guard
at left tackle.
at left tackle. So
Who's really holding his
Oh
own.
yeah, I don't think we could do that anymore. I don't think we can make that joke.
No,
I think
he's
just
too,
a left tackle
He's
in the
too
NFL.
fucking good
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
He's just a legit tackle.
maybe he just gets shifted over into right tackle when this is all said and done. You know what I mean? Like once we get
if it's that
it comes
easy,
down to
then
that.
yeah, why not?
he just seems like you wouldn't.
Well,
You're
he
not
went
gonna
from
have to
guard to left tackle without a blink of an eye. I
left
think the
tackle
guy
to
can-
right tackle. You'd be all
I think
right.
he can. whole off season.
You don't have to pay Trey Pipkins a huge amount of money. You shift him over there. That's what I'd like to see happen when the next season rolls around, or in the playoffs. Who knows?
Playoffs.
If Slater comes back and he's in the playoffs,
practice.
You put him on the other side.
We'll find out what they end up doing with him. But Cerberus21, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to a free. Who asked the question? Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Bolt of Love. After a few weeks away with our loss and bye week, it's time for our shout-outs this week. Shout out to Josh, don't walk too much or you'll grow hair on your palmer. Way to step up to the plate when we needed you most. We forgive you for that pass drop that caused an interception. Shout out to Cameron, I got a big kick dicker. Amazing use of your two legs there. Was no need to use your third, am I right, fellas? And last and certainly not least, a big shout out to the one and only Big Daddy taking candy from a baby Khalil Mack. That man took the ball from that rookie like Debo taking a chain from that delivery guy. Yes, that's my chain now. Question for you guys. Does it feel like Justin is back because those passes he was tossing there were very sweet? Well, that's going to do it for me today, even though I can do plenty more shout-outs. Stay sexy, Bolt fam, because you know the vibes. We outside. Okay, love you, bye.
I missed this. I'm glad you're back, Free.
Yes. Obviously, shout-outs to all those guys. I love Cameron. I got a big kick dicker. Come on now.
Good. I got a big kick dicker.
And yes, it does feel like Justin is back because, yes, when he was tossing those passes, they were on the money. Again, that pass, I can't get over it. The pass to DeAndre Carter. DeAndre Carter has caught some amazing passes this season.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to I can't remember if it was game 1 or 2 that he was, again, just catching a ball that looked completely uncatchable and somehow coming up with it. It's insane the kind of balls these guys are catching.
Yeah.
So Justin is back in full
Justin's
effect.
back. Yeah, he's getting there.
He looks different than he did the last game. Just bottom line.
Bottom line.
He just looks different. So let's keep it going. If you can give him enough time in the pocket, he had a pretty good pocket that whole game, and you can see what happens when he's not rushed. The one thing that is kind of I'm just so interested in is like why he has so many balls batted down at the line of scrimmage.
I know it is.
There's
very
a
bizarre.
lot.
He's so
season.
tall, and I'm not quite sure why that's happening. I feel like these defenses, that's like their one thing to focus on this week is like get your hands up as soon as he throws because the trajectory, like he's not lobbing stuff. They're all lasers right at whoever
They are
it is.
lasers, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's the one thing I'm like, don't want to hold them. You just got to keep their hands down. Like maybe offensive linemen need to like punch him in the gut, right? Right before he passes, like, oh, they come down. I don't know. We need to come up with
How
something.
are they going to know when he's
solid
throwing?
game plan? Yeah,
I don't
Justin
know.
goes punch.
It's like a dog
punch
whistle.
42.
Yeah, punch 42. On your marks, get set, punch.
Say punch. A free. Thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Gas Man, who asked the question.
With our offensive struggles being what they are, we need some silver linings. Can you break down some examples of where pieces of our offense is executing well?
All right. Gas Man wants to see you break down some good plays.
Yeah.
Can he do it?
Well, yeah, we'll look at
Tune in next week.
We'll look at some of the fun, like big explosive plays that we had, and yeah, I could kind of pick apart what we did well in it for sure. That'd be
There
fun.
you go. Yeah, keeping it positive here at Chat.
Let's go.
Love it. Thank you, Gas Man, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to House of Hain, who asked the question.
I say I'm in love with the win and want to thank the lineman that gave us the ball. I say the ball right back after 30's fumble. You, sir, you are the MVP in my eyes. Coach, did I see some power? Did I see some power running this game? 5-3 is way better than 4-4. I say, love you, bye.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think they sprinkle it in, and that's why I want to see more of it because it's a part of our game. This pulling, down blocks, better angles. It's part of the game. I just don't think we do it consistently enough to like, that's our identity that we're going to come and punch you in the mouth. So yeah, it's there every game. It's just, I don't know why we aren't consistent with just, that's the identity of what our line and what our running backs like to run.
5-3 just feels so
good.
Right?
Like looking at that typed out, it's so much better.
So much better.
Yes, it is. It's awesome.
Awesome.
House of Pain, thank you for asking the
brother.
question. Let's move on now to Gavin Gibson, who asked the question.
What a Sunday I had. First, I had the birth of my beautiful baby girl, Hannah Mary. And then, even though I missed the game, the Chargers brought back the win for her. Honestly, I couldn't have hoped for a better Sunday. My question is, now that Austin Johnson is out with injury, do you think this is Fajoko's time to shine, to show everyone why he should have a permanent spot on the roster? And how long do you think before we get to see his sack dance? As always, bolt up, K love you, bye. P.S. I may have an outfit for my daughter when she's a bit bigger that'll make her look like a future Brisket broad.
Congrats, Gavin.
Yes.
Awesome.
Congrats, Papa.
Congrats to Gavin.
Papa Gibson.
Welcome to the world, baby Charger fan.
Yes.
That's
so glad
happy for you, man.
So cool.
You got the baby. You got the dub. What more could you ask for on Sunday there, Gavin?
Maybe a little sleep.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Hopefully,
hopefully you and Mama are able to get some good sleep there.
So happy for you, brother. That's fantastic news.
Big time. And as far as your question, Fajoko, to show everybody why he should have a permanent spot.
I love
yes.
Fajoko. I really want to see him get that sack dance. I want to see
all
it.
do.
I want to feel it.
Man.
It has been teased. I mean, when was that interview?
Dude,
like that was like
it was before all the crazy trade started to happen, all the pickups we got.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago. It was 4 months ago.
Yeah. The tease has gone on for too long. I'm seeing other guys get sacks. It's time for Fajoko to put one on and get his groove on. I want to see this dance
so bad.
I need it.
It better be good too, because we've had 6 months to build this up in our head.
I've ran through this. The Brisket Broads dream about getting in the game. I dream about Fajoko's sack dance.
Dances.
Yeah, there's been a lot of dreams.
It better be amazing. It better not be like Elaine going out there
shimmy.
and dancing back in Seinfeld, just like the worst.
I'm definitely dreaming about that tonight. Thanks for that image.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Appreciate it.
Gavin, thank you. And congrats one more time.
Yeah, brother.
Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to 12 Anato, who asked the question.
Jamari Salyer is such a great story for us this year. If somehow Rashawn comes back at the end of the season, what do you guys think happens to our O-line, baby?
We kind of talked about it accidentally just a little bit before this, but I don't know. I'd like to see him going at right tackle and then Slater play left. Because if he can step up and do that, like we were saying, he can do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at it straight from a production standpoint, Salyer has come in and played really like unforeseeably well.
Yeah.
Like nobody saw that coming.
No.
Except
Clearly,
for
he got
somebody
drafted
did.
in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Nobody saw that.
Our most
Nobody saw that
productive
coming.
late round pick like we've ever had in recent memory. I can't think of anyone that late being that big of an impact on our team right away.
Outside of undrafted guys like Eckler.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the question really is like, if that is the opportunity, then how easy is it for him to move to right tackle?
You got to take their shot and risk it because
right.
Yeah, in your head, you got to get the best guys on the field. And yeah, I don't know, especially if Pipkins, I don't think his sprained MCL is going anywhere this year. He's going to keep playing. It's going to keep hurting. That's not going away. If Salyer can stay healthy, wait, is Rashawn Slater back like an actual potential thing?
I think the timetable for his return was like, well, if we can make the playoffs, so we might see Rashawn Slater come back.
Would be
See, that's why you like 20-year-olds.
The
baby. Where a tweaked hammy is just 12 weeks. He tears his entire bicep and he's back for the playoffs.
Yeah. It could happen. I mean, obviously, the timetables that we've been given on some of these other guys on like, day to day, he should, there's a possibility for him to come back and they don't. So I wouldn't ride on that ticket that he will definitely be back, but the chances there, again, you hope for the best, and whatever happens. So 12 and Otto, thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Z the King 1, who asked the question.
Hey, this team is so weird. We are somehow winning games that feels like we should have lost and are losing games that feels like we should have won. But at the end of the day, we are 5-3. Question for you guys. What do you realistically see as the outlook for the rest of the season? Will we win like 5 more games and get to top wildcard spot? Beat out the Chiefs for the division? Never been done in Tommy T's 10-year career. Just barely missed playoffs and clean house with coaching staff and GM? I know we might eventually get Keenan and Joey back at some point, but it feels like that doesn't address some of the biggest issues we have at this time. Thoughts?
I can't do Tim Allen. Z the King 1, I can't do Tim Allen, all right? I'm sorry. I went with Yogi Berra as my next best option. All right.
Realistic.
What do we, predictions basically for the rest of the year is what he's asking. So
it's hard to say. Like you started off, this shit is so weird. It's so hard to predict what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think most fans are thinking the next 2 games are going to be L's, and then we'll be 500.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to win one of these 2. No matter what we look like, no matter what we're doing, playing the Chiefs is always going to be a battle.
Yeah.
It's always a game we're always going to be in as long as we have Justin.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we can get through these next 4 weeks, who's after the Chiefs?
We've got the Cardinals and the Raiders and the Dolphins.
I think if we can get past the Cardinals and be, 2-2 past that, I think we're going to be in really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see what happens when our guys start returning. Because I don't think Mike's going to come back in the next 3 weeks. They didn't put him on our IR, but that's usually the sign that he should have been put on IR. Like you know what I mean? Like that's the way things are going.
If they even discuss IR, they should have put him on.
That should have been on there. So I am still extremely excited about what the season can be because of the way we're winning these games. It's like fucking ghosts knocking balls out of a guy like that game, like that. What the? You can't explain that.
Yeah.
Like I can't explain these things. So as long as we can keep these games close and don't suck at the first quarter and go down by two scores anymore, as long as just one score, okay, just one, I think we'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I have no idea what to expect. I'm taking this 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
I can't look. Guys, we don't even know who's going to be on the field in 2 weeks.
Right.
The way that things are going right now, we could have a whole different roster. Like we get hurt so often. I think it would be unwise to try to predict anything outside of what's going to happen against San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking it 1 week at a time, enjoying every of these crazy wins and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
See.
I think hoping for the best is really all that we can do at this point. I mean, nobody saw us being at this point in the season with as many injuries as we have, being 5-3, and just recently winning a game with all of those said injuries. Like, it's unfathomable to be in a 5-3 situation with the team as literally broken as it is.
Guys,
like
the doom and gloom that we've heard. We're 4-1 in our last 5 games.
Yeah.
We were 1-2 to start the season. We're 4-1, and everyone's like demanding jobs, and the sky is falling, and we suck, and we're never going to win a game.
Yeah.
We're 4-1 the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. So I think it's not impossible to feel like things could happen.
Be optimistic.
Is it going to be tough? Absolutely. None of these are going to be easy.
We all going to have
every
these
game's hard.
heart attack moments, these roller coasters. It's going to continue. That's what this is right now.
So prep the defibrillator, get your medication, have it handy, make sure that your medical bracelet is up to date with all the numbers because it's going to be hairy games from this point forward.
Life Alert, they should get a nice sponsorship set up with Chargers fans, Die Hard Bolt Club. Maybe there's some.
They really should.
Just so when we
some
fall,
kind of sponsorship.
They send out an ambulance.
There you go.
Hopefully they have enough ambulances in Southern California to handle that, but we'll see.
Well, yes, that's all we can hope for.
All we can hope for at this point.
Z the King 1, thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Landon Sumner, who asked the question. Good afternoon, Boltfam and members of all affiliated. We're gathered here today to celebrate a wonderful win as well as a terrible loss. Here lies all 3,748 Charger fans who all died of heart attacks during the game. Some passed following the helmet interception, but most during the Eckler fumble. Be it known that all these Charger fans will be remembered as those who truly were ride or die. Some of the following loved ones have given me what were the final words of just a few members of this beloved fan base. Michael Ravis said, "I swear to God, this run defense will be the end of me." Well, you can swear to God in person now, Michael. This defense let you down. Jacob Palm's last words were, "Hey, babe, I just bet a sketchy mob boss $50,000 or my life that the Chargers won't drop more than 4 passes. Easy money, right?" I'm told Jacob's casket will be a closed one. Keith Van Hoy was last heard saying, "Thank God we got the ball back to win it with 4 minutes left. My poor heart can't take another crazy turn of events." I'm so sorry, Keith. I'm sure you were surrounded by any sensible Charger fans. They'd have you leave the room immediately. Before we wrap up, I have a question for the Charger Chat Council. How cool was it seeing the Brisket A'broads on TV following that second Eckler touchdown? I've heard so much about that, I was beginning to believe they were only a myth. Thank you all for paying your respects to this fan base that loses lives by the thousands on a weekly basis. And for all of us still here, Bolt Gang or do not bang, f*** the Raiders. Godspeed, my friends. Godspeed.
This is such a good script, Landon. Holy shit. Oh my God, that's funny. I'm told Jacob's casket will be a closed one. Oh, wow. That's great.
Yes. Shout out to all the Charger fans that...
the emotionally deceased Charger fans out there.
Right. That, rest in peace, my friends. All 3,748 of you that bit the big one.
Life alert. We need it. It needs to happen.
It needs to happen, folks. If you need life alert, we say it jestingly, but at the same time, there's a hint of truth that you got to, protect yourself. Have all your, safety nets in place for a hairy Charger game. And yes, the Brisket A'broads. It is amazing. They will basically be at every single game, whether it's home or away. So when touchdowns are scored and they cut to the fans who are screaming and shouting, don't be surprised if you see the Brisket A'broads and their big charge horns tooting on the sideline.
I love it. They make eye contact too. They really lock in with the camera, lock in with the
players.
They do.
They lock in with the camera. They lock in with the players.
They mean it. They mean the love they have for us and our players.
They are wholesome to the bitter end.
Yes.
No matter what happens. So, Landon Sumner, thank you for asking the question.
Great script.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah.
Mwah.
And thank you, everybody, for asking questions this week. Again, it was chunky, and I love it because it creates great conversation for all of us. You guys make this episode basically half of what it is. So, without you guys, who knows what we'd be talking about. But I think
shadow routes.
Shadow routes. Yes.
Get on those.
All right. Well, I think it's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, gentlemen?
Man, I don't know. I just hope no one gets hurt. We had guys going down on the bye week. Just stay safe.
People slipping in tunnels. Like, calm down.
Yeah. Let's be safe this week and hope for the best come Sunday.
Bubble wrap.
Go. We will hope for the best here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Kid, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Howdy, folks. Let me ask you, when someone asks something you want, what do? Do you pay for it like some kind of slack-jawed dummy? If you do, then listen up. What if you just steal that sumbitch? Go on, just take it. Don't know how? Then you need Khalil Mack's School of Ball-Stealing Sumbitches. If you want to be the best, then you gotta learn from the best. That's Khalil Mack's School of Ball-Stealing Sumbitches. Take what's rightfully yours today and show them how hungry you are.